How many times have you found yourself in that room, the air thick with unspoken words, your heart pounding in your chest like a drum of war? You've laid it all out. You've articulated your feelings with the precision of a poet. You've presented your case with the logic of a philosopher. You have bled your soul onto the table for them to see. You have fought, you have begged, you have over-explained every single motive, every fear, every hope, trying to build a bridge to their understanding, only to be met with a blank stare. A wall of indifference, or worse, the hollow echo of your own words in the silence that follows. Why do we do it? Why do we fight so desperately to be heard by people who have already put plugs in their ears? Why do we exhaust ourselves trying to prove our worth to a jury that has already passed its sentence? We drain our very lifeblood trying to convince someone to see the light in us when their eyes are willfully, stubbornly shut. You feel it, don't you, that gnawing frustration, that deep soul, crushing exhaustion of trying to make someone care, of trying to make them see the value you know is inside you. It's the desperate plea of a man who feels unheard, unseen, and unvalued in a world that promised him he could have it all if he just tried hard enough. We've been sold a lie, a beautiful, tragic lie. We've been told that communication is the key, that if you just explain yourself more clearly, if you just find the right words, if you just try a little harder, they will finally understand. They will finally see you. In our relationships, in our careers, in our families, we operate under this flawed assumption that more is better. More words, more effort, more proof. We are addicted to the chase, not just for affection, but for validation. We have this compulsive, almost pathological need for someone outside of ourselves to look at us and say, "I see you, you are enough," and so we talk. We argue, we plead, we send the long text messages, we have the late night we need to talk conversations, we rehearse our arguments in the shower. We are constantly transmitting, broadcasting our insecurities and our needs, hoping, praying that someone will finally tune in to our frequency. But what if I told you that the greatest power you will ever wield in your life doesn't come from the noise you make, but from the silence you keep? What if I told you that the key to being heard, to being respected, to becoming magnetic, is not to talk more, but to say less? Today, I'm not here to give you more lines to say. I'm here to give you a new perspective. I'm here to show you how to reclaim your masculine power, how to protect your inner peace, and how to become the man you were always meant to be, not by shouting louder, but by embracing the profound, earth-shattering power of strategic silence. Let's be honest with each other. It hurts. There is a deep, primal pain in feeling like you are not enough. It's the sting of a message left on read. It's the hollow ache after a date where you felt you connected, only to be met with a ghost. It's the quiet desperation of trying to impress a father who never gives his approval, or trying to prove your ambition to a world that seems to overlook you. This pain is real. It's a cancer of the soul that eats away at your confidence, your drive, your very sense of self. It leaves you feeling hollowed out, an empty shell of the man you want to be. You look in the mirror, and the reflection that stares back is one of exhaustion. You are tired. You are tired of the performance, tired of the endless audition for love and respect. You've been running on this hamster wheel, believing that if you just run a little faster, you'll finally reach the destination of being good enough. You've been told that as a man you must be the pursuer, the problem solver, the one who initiates and fixes. So, when a connection feels broken, when a relationship is fraught with misunderstanding, your instinct, your conditioning, is to fix it with words. You believe the problem is a lack of information, that if you could just download your feelings and intentions directly into their mind, everything would be resolved. This mindset, this desperate need to explain and be understood, is a trap. It's a cage of our own making, forged from loneliness and a deep-seated fear of abandonment. We have mistakenly anchored our self-worth to the shifting sands of other people's opinions and feelings. We've handed them the remote control to our emotions. Their validation makes us feel high. Their indifference sends us crashing down. This makes us fragile. It makes us predictable. It makes us weak. When you base your emotional stability on someone else's capacity to understand you, you are setting yourself up for a lifetime of disappointment. You are gambling your peace on a game you cannot win, because you cannot control how another person chooses to perceive you. You can be the most eloquent, most honest, most vulnerable man in the world, but if you are speaking to someone who is committed to misunderstanding you, your words are just noise. They will twist your vulnerability into neediness. They will interpret your passion as aggression. They will see your desire for connection as a desperate attempt to control them. You are not arguing with a person. You are arguing with their preconceived narrative of who you are. And that is a battle you will lose every single time. Every word you speak in your defense is just more ammunition for their case against you. And here is the turning point. This is the moment where you take back the key to your own cage. The key is strategic silence. Now, I need you to hear me very clearly. This is not the silent treatment. This is not passive aggression. This is not weakness or surrender. This is an active, conscious, and powerful choice. It is the ultimate act of self-preservation. Think of your energy, your emotional and mental energy, as your most valuable currency. It is more valuable than your money, your time, or your possessions. Every single day, you wake up with a finite amount of this currency, and every time you engage in a pointless argument, every time you try to explain your worth to someone who is determined to devalue you, every time you beg to be seen by someone who is looking away, you are making them rich with your currency while you go bankrupt. Strategic silence is the act of closing your vault. It is you making a conscious decision that your inner peace is more important than their misunderstanding of you. It is the quiet, firm declaration, I will no longer participate in a dynamic that drains my soul. It means you stop arguing with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You let them have their version of the story. You let them be right. Their need to win the argument is a sign of their own inner turmoil, not a reflection of your worth. You disengage. You refuse to play the game. It means you stop explaining your vision, your dreams, your goals, to people who lack the capacity to see it. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to the construction of your life. They're small. Mindedness is a cage they have built for themselves. Do not let them convince you to step inside it. You work in silence. You build in silence. You let your success be the noise. And most importantly, it means you stop defending your character to someone who is actively looking for reasons to find fault in you. Their perception is a reflection of them, not you. You know who you are. You know your heart. You know your integrity. That is enough. Let your actions, your consistency, and your peace be your only argument. This is energy conservation for your soul. It is the ultimate power move. So what do you do with all this energy you've saved? This is where the transformation begins. This is where you stop being a reactor and start being a creator. You take all of that passion, all of that fire that you were wasting on futile battles, and you turn it inward. You begin to build your kingdom, and you do it in silence. You hit the gym, not to post a selfie for her to see, but because you are forging discipline and strength in the iron temple. The sweat and the burn are your new communion. You pour yourself into your work, your career, your business, not to impress anyone with a job title or a paycheck, but because you are building a legacy. You are solving problems, creating value, and becoming a man of substance. The focus and the flow state are your new validation. You pick up that hobby you've always wanted to try, learning an instrument, writing, hiking a mountain. You do it for the sheer joy of it, for the expansion of your own soul, not for an audience. The fulfillment you get from the work itself, from the process of becoming, is 1,000 times more potent than the fleeting applause of others. You are no longer performing for a crowd. You are building a cathedral to your own potential, and as you build your kingdom, you must also build your inner sanctum. You must become your own source of validation. This is the hardest work, but it is the most rewarding. It means you learn to sit with your own emotions. When you feel that loneliness creeping in, you don't immediately reach for your phone to numb it with distraction or seek validation from a woman. You sit with it, you breathe into it, you ask it what it's trying to teach you. You become your own emotional alchemist, turning the lead of your pain into the gold of your wisdom. This is where practices like journaling become your lifeline. You write it all down, the anger, the frustration, the hope, the dreams. You get it out of your head and onto the page, and in doing so, you become the witness to your own experience, not the victim of it. You start meditating, not because it's trendy, but because in the silence between your thoughts, you find a peace that no external person can ever give you, and no external person can ever take away. You start to listen to the wise, calm voice within you that has been drowned out for years by the noise of seeking approval. You learn to trust that voice. You learn to be your own guide, your own mentor, your own father. You become the rock that you were always looking for in someone else. And then a strange and beautiful thing begins to happen. A paradox unfolds. The moment you stop chasing, the moment you stop needing their validation, is the moment you become magnetic. Your silence is not empty, it's full. It's full of self-respect. It's full of purpose. It's full of a quiet, unshakable confidence that is infinitely more attractive than the loudest boasts. People, especially women, are drawn to a man who has his own internal center of gravity, a man whose happiness is not contingent on her mood, whose self-worth is not up for debate. Your lack of neediness creates an aura of mystery and strength. They start to wonder what you're thinking. They start to notice that your world doesn't revolve around them. They feel the shift in power. You are no longer seeking their approval. You are, by the very nature of your self-possessed energy, inviting them to seek yours. Your peace, your focus, your unwavering commitment to your own growth becomes the most powerful statement you could ever make. They will feel your absence more acutely than they ever valued your presence. The respect you were begging for is now given freely because you respected yourself first. The attraction you were trying to force is now happening naturally because you have become a man who is attractive at his very core, not just on the surface. So tonight, I am not asking you, I am challenging you. I am challenging you to conduct an experiment with your own life. Your peace is your ultimate priority. Your energy is your most valuable and sacred currency. Stop giving it away for free to people who are unworthy of the investment. The next time you feel that familiar, burning urge to explain yourself, to defend your honor, to argue your case, to beg to be understood by someone who has proven they are incapable of it. I want you to stop. Just stop. Take a deep breath. Feel the ground beneath your feet and choose silence. Choose your peace. Choose yourself. Walk away, not in anger, not in bitterness, but in the calm, quiet strength of a man who knows his worth is not negotiable. Go to the gym, read a book, work on your business plan, go for a walk in nature. Do something, anything, that invests that precious energy back into the only project that truly matters, you. Go build your life. Build it so beautifully, so powerfully, so authentically, that you no longer have time for the noise. The right people, the ones who are meant to be in your life, will hear your silence more loudly than your words ever could. They will see your actions, and they will know who you are, and they will come. They will come not because you chased them, but because you built a kingdom worth visiting. Your silence is not an absence, it is a presence. It is the presence of your power. Now go, and let that silence speak volumes.